Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a short review on the Atomos Ninja Flame, and here it is. This is their 7-inch recorder, HDMI only. They do a Ninja Flame and a Ninja Flame Samurai, Ninja Flame Inferno, that's what it is, which is HDMI and SDI. I didn't need that, so I got the one that's HDMI only, and here it is. A rather lovely piece of kit. Now it's a 4K recorder and a monitor all in one. It's got incredibly clear images, and I use it for many functions as a 4K recorder, but also as a field monitor. And as you might be able to see there, it's absolutely superb quality. It really does produce some nice images. You can see on that camera there possibly how good that is. And I love using it. Now I've used the Atomos recorders for quite a long time now, because I originally had the Atomos Ninja Assassin. I adored that recorder. Again, superb. Very good in daylight, just a very good monitor, but it had a couple of drawbacks. Well, actually one in particular is that it only had the one battery slot. So when the battery run low or run out, your recording goes. And that was, I don't know why Atomos designed it like that, but they very quickly replaced it with a different model. So I think they felt that that was a bad design. The Shogun was exactly the same. The Shogun only had the one battery. This one here has got the two batteries, so much more sensible. So that when one battery runs out, you just hot swap it, put another one in. So you can carry on recording, because it'll just transfer the power from the other battery, if that makes sense. So it'll just keep continuously running as you swap batteries from it. And that was the only reason I got rid of the other one. I had to use an Atomos power station to run the monitor stroke recorder, and that really was a pain in the bum, simply because it was just more, it was another unit, so it was more cumbersome. Now this here, a very nice design. It is quite big, which is a silly thing to say really, because that isn't a downside of a unit, because obviously having such a lovely big screen is absolutely super. But it does mean that when you've got it mounted on top of your cage on your camera, it's quite bulky. It's not the sort of running around sort of kit, I'm convinced of that. You wouldn't want to pick it up and go running and gunning with it. I think if you're sticking it on a tripod in a studio at somebody's location where you're doing interviews or whatever it might be, absolutely outstanding. And once the two batteries are on, that is pretty bulky. That's quite a hefty piece of kit, but it's a lovely piece of kit. Now, what it has with it at the moment, I've got this going HDMI into the recorder from my Sony A6500. I've got just sat on the desk there. I actually had it on the little tripod I'm resting it on, and it fell off the tripod on the floor, and it still works, so there we go. So this recorder monitor has many features. It's a 7-inch monitor, and it's got 4K input. It can take HD input as well, but it's designed as a 4K recorder, and you can tell what that just by looking at the it's all touchscreen. So whatever you do to it, you just touch the screen, and it's saying me there the source input, and you can set it to trigger. So when you start the camera, it will start the recorder, and that is really nifty. Shows you what type of media you got in there. It takes standard 2.5-inch laptop drives or SSD drives. I'm using SSD drives because they're non-mechanical, so you've got less likelihood of any failures. Battery indication at the top there, and you can set it to prioritize against mains input and then the batteries or whatever. And you've got no end of filming aids, and it all works while it's recording as well. So you can put your waveforms up, you can create the size of your waveform, whether it be across the whole bottom of the screen, in the corner, whatever. The list really does, false colour to check here. Oh no, that's RGB parade. You've got false colour, let's get rid of that. So you've got focus peaking. As you can see there, I've got that lens set to manual focus. So, and because it's a wide angle lens and everything is pretty much in focus, near enough, cables in shot, but hey, you know, we don't worry about things like that. And you've got zebra settings to check the exposure. That's clearly underexposed. Where the zebra is just showing up, you can adjust the strength of the zebra to see where you can see the zebra showing up on the walls there, which is good. You've got false colour, which shows you what the exposure is. Reds are overexposed, which would make sense because that's in the window area. And greys are correctly exposed, blues a bit underexposed. So you can, and also you can clear the entire screen, so you can clearly see what you're doing. Let's get rid of that and bring it back to normal. It's got I've never used this feature. They actually promote this feature. You can tag footage and what have you as to what your best takes are, and then you can output that as an XML file for Final Cut 10, presumably Avid, and all that sort of stuff. This is what one of the things that makes this monitor unique. It's got Atomos HDR. I'm not going into that whatsoever because that's another story in its own right. But Atomos HDR enables you to get the correct exposure when you're shooting any of the log formats, whether it be S-Log, V-Log, the Canon C-Log. But that's a different video altogether as to how HDR works, but it is built into this monitor. And the brightness of this monitor is 1500 nits. 1500 nits basically means it works brilliantly in daylight. The Atomos Ninja Blade is very good in daylight, and I was really pleased with that, but this just knocks it into a cockade. This is just outstanding. Very, very pleased with that. It's got audio level control. You can see there the audio level meters are running there, and it's got analog inputs, line level as well as mic level inputs. I'm monitoring the HDMI audio that's coming from the camera, and you can change whether you want it vertical or horizontal, headphone outputs, etc, etc, etc. It records in one of two formats, either ProRes, Apple ProRes 422 HQ LT, which is the lower quality one, and Avid D8, well, I've made a note of it, what's it called? DNxHR format, which is really useful for those people that use Avid. I use Apple ProRes because I'm working with Macs and I'm Final Cut 10, and it's brilliant. Straight in, no mussing about, no transcoding, beautiful quality, really, really good. So yeah, very delighted with how that works. And it's saying you can set all those settings by just a pull down menu. You can select whether you want ProRes, whether you want DNA, whatever it's called. What's it called? I can't even say it, but you know, the Avid format. So that's basically a quick rundown of the Atomos Ninja Flame. As I say, standard SD drives, standard laptop drives that go in the side here. You've got headphone jack, mic input on that side, and the on-off switch. And on that side is basically the HDMI in. Now it's got HDMI loop through, so if you want to loop it to another recorder like I did when I went out to compare this and the Ninja Blade, I just looped it through to the other one. And on the back here, your two battery compartments and your drive there. I have used this unit with quite a few different cameras. I've used it with my A7R Mark II, which is that one there that I'm filming on. I've used it with me Panasonic FZ2500, and I'm now using it with me A6500. And I've also used it with my little RX100 Mark IV, and it works beautifully. You can set it to trigger the recording of this when you hit the start button on the camera, and it works with all of them. On certain cameras, if the camera feeds out a 422 10-bit signal, this will actually record a 422 10-bit clean signal from the HDMI out from the camera. As an example, my FZ2500 over here does feed out a true 422 10-bit signal. Absolutely phenomenal for the price of that camera. So you get amazing images on here because of that. Particularly useful if you're grading footage. I believe the A7R Mark II feeds out a 422 10-bit signal. I'm not sure on the A6500, haven't checked that, whether that's 8-bit or 10-bit. It might even be 420, I'm not quite sure on that one. I'd have to double check that. But so there we go. That's my thoughts on the Atomos Ninja Flame. I've compared it also with my little Atomos Ninja 2, and you can see there's a huge difference in size. It would have been nice if Atomos could have done a 4K recorder, not necessarily that small, but the size of the Ninja Blade, which was actually on top of my 7R Mark II. I'm just using it as a monitor today. And again, the Ninja 2 is superb, but only HD, the same as the Ninja Blade, that's only HD. This is obviously so much better because it's 4K, and that cable is annoying me now. Yeah, that's the Atomos Ninja Flame. I do hope you enjoy my YouTube channel. I enjoy making these videos, and I really do hope you enjoy watching them. If you do, please hit the subscribe button and tell all your friends to subscribe. It's absolutely fantastic and I love it. And hit the like button on this video. Thanks very much for watching this particular review, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks very much. Bye for now.